Hey YouTube land, Tyconder's coming back at you with another action figure review, and today we are doing a twofer, because you can't really do one without the other. Well, you can, but it's always good to do the dynamic duo together, and today we are having a look at the Core class Batman, or Mattel DC Core class Batman and Robin. Now, Batman is the blue-grey version, from Series 1, which is what we're looking at today. There is a Series 2, which is all black suit, and then the 3-packs, or the multi-pack ones, have other versions of Batman. But today it is just this chappy. So we're going to have a quick look at the boxes. So I'm going to move everything aside, have a quick look at the boxes, and then we will get cracking on the figures. So whoop, whoop, and whoop. So for the boxes, now I have Batman's here. It doesn't have his inlay with it, because I literally had to rip these things apart just to get them out of the boxes. They are kind of double sealed in there. The weapons tray is behind another plastic tray, which makes it harder to actually keep the boxes intact. But I just wanted to showcase Batman's one. If I take out the little slip of paper that comes with it, we'll have a look-see. So I picked these up at Smyths. Each figure comes with a little pamphlet. It just shows how to assemble the little weapons rack. Only Batman and Robin so far have a weapons rack. The Joker in this figure does have weapons on a sprue, which is one of these, which I still haven't taken the rest of their weapons off. But they come in a little sprue. For the Caped Crusaders, it is a all black plastic version of that. If I flip around the back of the box, there isn't much on the write-up on the back of the box. It just showcases the figures and the other figures in the wave. And then half the box is all the legalese stuff. So you just have supervillains. I think it's like DC Supervillains. I think that's the name of this line. It's DC Supervillains, but it's like mostly Batman and Robin so far, but hopefully that will change as the line progresses. But you have a nice look at Batman and Robin in striking a combat pose, and then you just have them. You have the other figures in the wave, which you have the Joker, which I've already reviewed, Batman, Robin, and the Flash. So that's pretty much it for the boxes. There's not much else to go with. Mainly because we have the European versions, which are the multilingual boxes. So I think the US ones might have a bit of a brief write-up for the supervillain line. I'm not too sure, but I'd have to double check. But if I think they do, I believe they do, but I could be wrong. Anywho, that's it for the boxes. We'll pause here. We'll transition here, pause here, whichever way I want to do it, and we'll have a quick look at those figures. So here are the figures out of the packaging. I do have their specific little, weapons racks combined and put together and assembled. So we'll bring in Mr. Tape Measure. You can see that Robin stands just around 6 inches. If I just bring Batman back in, just to give him a height, so he's around 6.5 inches as well. So they are kind of aimed to be in the scale of stuff like Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, the Masters of the Universe Chronicles figures, and there's a plethora of other kind of figure lines that are supposed to be in a 6-inch scale or 1/12 scale. So I will bring in a couple of figures more to the end of this review, so we can have a look at them. But we'll have a look at the articulation. We'll start with the articulation. For the most part, they have the same articulation as any of the previous figures I have reviewed from this particular line. I'm just going to grab Robin's gear out of his hands just to make it easier for myself. So heads are on ball joints. Arms can T-pose that much. Rotate around. Just like with the other figures, you have a cape, a soft goods cape on the back of Batman and Robin. There is a peg hole that goes through the cape onto the back, which has a peg hole, and that is for attaching stuff like the glider that comes with the Batmobile. You have single jointed elbows that can get a good just over 90-degree bend. You have a swivel and a hinge in the wrist. What I do find interesting with Robin, and I'm not sure if it's coming across here, I might do a close-up of it, is his legs can do the splits that much. He has tie swivel. What's interesting is his knees are a different plastic to the rest of the leg, so he has a very glossy knee, especially on my version, and I think that was the same with Joker, and Batman has it as well to some degree. It is interesting to see. I'm not sure if that will mean that this might wear out more over time, or the material that the actual legs are made out of might deteriorate faster. I do not know. But you have dual jointed knees. Again, you have that padding on the knee for Robin, and then you have his little elf boots, as people have been calling them. They're not as much noticeable on the black suit Robin compared to this version of Robin, who I will bring in because I have him handy. So this is the black suit Robin, or the motorcycle Robin that comes with the Robin cycle. You can see he has red knees, but he's also wearing those same, it is the exact same figure, just redecoed. So out of all the figures in the waves so far, we've have multiple of Batmans repainted and one Robin repainted so far. I don't believe Nightwing uses the same body. I think Nightwing uses his own unique body. So that would lead me to believe that this is either a Damian Wayne style Robin, or it's supposed to be Tim Drake or one of the other subsequent Robins other than Dick Grayson, because there is a Nightwing in the figure line, so that would err on the side of Nightwing actually being grown-up Robin. But we'll take him aside for the moment, and we'll have a look at the Batman. Batman. So, Chuck Robin in the background there. I will take Batman's little grapple launcher out of his pockets. I do have some of Batman's accessories from his thing already on his belt. It is cool that the belts have those little pegs on them that they can store some of the weapons. Not so much Robin's ones, because his ones are really weird and unique, but we'll get into that in a minute. But for Batman, same thing, arms can go up that much, can rotate all the way around, you still get that just over 90-degree bend with the elbow. What is interesting is, I think, are they called scallops, or the whatever those kind of pointy things on the edge of his gauntlets are. They're actually a separate piece. Now, they are a more rubbery plastic than the arm, but that could indicate that somewhere down the line that they might have intentions of replacing these with other kind of glued on pieces to make his arms more bulked up, depending if they reuse, like they've already reused this as a repaint a few times, that it could do like an armored up version with extra stuff that clips on over all this. Who knows? I'm just speculating. Oh, one thing with Robin and Batman I almost missed out is they do have a waist swivel. You have the legs, can do the splits that much. Thigh swivel, kick forward on the leg, double knee joint just like with Robin. There is a sort of boot swivel, but it is hindered by the sculpt on his actual boot. Same with Robin. He doesn't have ankle swivel, but he has a boot cut swivel where his shoes meet his feet, or meet the upper ankles, or upper legs I should say. So he does have that. And again, just like with Robin, we have the soft goods cape, done in a blue, and it has a peg hole on the back. So, and the heads are on the ball joint, so you get great range of movement compared to the previous versions of this line, of which I will bring in one now, which is the previous kind of kids-aimed Batman line from Mattel, which is Batman's Missions. You can see they were slightly smaller. They were about 5.5 inch, just almost airing on 6 for some of the characters. But you can see you have a similar Batman. I can't remember which one this is. I think it came with the Joker set, where I got the actual Joker with the flying vehicle. I think that's the Batman that came with the set. I could be wrong, but it's one I found that's in a similar deco to this one, the blue-grey suit. I don't have too many in the blue-grey. I usually go for the kind of more black suit Batman figures. But that is a similar one. You can see there's even a peg hole on the back. He has a more armoured look, a more armoured gauntlet type thing. You could probably see something similar with this if they have like extra pieces they intend to glue on. But it is an interesting, it's a lighter grey and a lighter blue, or kind of a more greeny blue than that previous one. We're going to have a look at some other stuff and we'll get into it in a second. So we'll have a look at the accessories that they come with, because they do come with quite a bit. And I'll try and get some good close-ups of them. So for ease, they actually come with these nice little weapon stands. You can kind of angle them so they can hold the weapons on it. So for Batman's, you get these disc things, which is similar to the green ones that came with Joker. You get batarangs. Now he does have 2 of them stored on his back, so you get kind of 3 of these kind of moustache shaped ones, and then the kind of reversed ones. You have a grapple launcher. You have these, what I'm assuming are flashbangs, because, you know, Batman generally doesn't use actual grenades or actual guns and stuff. You know, he has that no killing policy. And then he has this, I'm not sure what this thing is. It kind of reminds me, I'll try and get a good close up in a minute. It reminds me of that what's the weapon? The EMP kind of thing that they use for the Dark Knight Rises? Or was it Dark Knight films? And one of the Nolan films, he had that kind of weird EMP launcher type thing. So it kind of reminds me of that. And then for the Robin side of things, so I have a feeling not all of Robin's, just like with Batman, I don't think all of Robin's gear is kind of for him. So we have 2 of these stick staff type things with the blades on the end. We have 2 of these throwing stars. You have 2 of these saw blade style throwing stars. You get 2 handcuffs, which are pretty cool. And then you get this dagger, and the dagger I don't think really goes with Robin. If anything, I would say this is supposedly for a villain character. You kind of don't see, you know, Robin going around stabbing people too much. But you could see it easily being wielded by someone like the Joker, since he's the only villain character in the wave and line so far. Well, with the exception of the 3 packs that are out, he's the only single-carded villain character so far. So it is what it is. Now, Joker did come with accessories intended to be used with the Batman and Robin figure, and for some reason I can't find a Robin accessory, but he comes with these clip-over mask, kind of Joker-esque masks. There was one for Robin, which I had on this guy when I did the review for Joker, but I can't seem to find it for some reason. He seems to have gone AWOL on me, so I will have to figure out where it went. But for now, you can't really put the other mask, the one for Flash, on his head because it doesn't fit Robin. But you have a look at all those nice accessories. So one of the other accessories that comes with the Batmobile, we'll do that first before I drag in the Batmobile because it's big, is it comes with this piece that comes off it, and it's supposed to be intended for Batman as a kind of a backpack, flight pack type thing. So you can have him flying around the place, zoomies, going around the place with his backpack piece. So you have that, and I'm going to move things out of the way, and then hopefully we can get the Batmobile in, because it is a big chunky thing. We'll move you over there for the moment, because we will be bringing in his other accessory, well, his other thing, the bike. So here is Batman's Batmobile. The good old Batman Batmobile. We'll take that thing off his back. Open up the cockpit. Get Batman into a more seated position. Now he can probably fit in there with the things on, depending on which ones you have on his belt. You might have to take them off, but he does. Ugh. Come on, Batman. This is designed for you. So it does fit in quite nicely. And then this thing is designed to plug into the top up here. And we're going to pop this open. And we're going to go through everything. We got Robin and the Robin Cycle, even though it's not the Robin that came with the Robin Cycle. We're going to use the Core single carded one just to show that he can fit on the bike as well as the other Robin. Get his hands on the control sticks. Get him nice and situated onto that, and we should, in theory, it can take a little bit of finagling to do this, but it should just plug straight in. Oh, there goes one of the missiles. Whoa. Oh, I didn't notice that. Now, here's something interesting. So the missiles on this look to have the same plug-in port as the Joker's. They're a bit longer, but I think they fit. Yeah, the Joker's one actually fit in there. Interesting. That's something you learn new every day. But there we go. Now they're going to start firing out on me, so I'll just have to leave it. But that is Batman and Robin both in their respected vehicles in its big configuration setup, and you can have him firing his thing, assuming it will work when I get it to the right spot, because you have to get the wheel. There we go. You can see it fires off. So it is a pretty sweet figure set. They are pretty nice figures. I do recommend picking them up. We will have one quick look at some other figures in sale, but I'm just going to use Batman. I won't dig out Robin. This is just for time constraint. So you did see him there next to Joker. Joker does stand quite nice next to Batman. We're going to bring in something I haven't reviewed yet, and I'm hoping to get a review done of it at some point. Here is the Chronicles Skeletor. I think I did a review for Core Class, if I remember correctly. This is Chronicles movie Skeletor, the one that just came out. If I get him to stand. There we go. So you can see how they stand next to that. Bring in Marvel Legends. Move Joker out of the way. Or just put him to the back there. Yeah. I can never remember this guy's character name. He's the Skrull dude. And we will bring in a G.I. Joe. Oh, there goes Skeletor. Skeletor, no one to stand. We shall bring in a G.I. Joe figure. Since I have him handy, we'll bring you on. I'll move you out behind Skeletor. Hopefully Skeletor can stand up here in the background quite comfortably. Grab that missile back. So there is battle armored Cobra Commander next to Batman. So all in all, he is a pretty cool figure. I do recommend picking them up. They're fairly reasonably cheap for the line that it is. They're about, well, over here in Ireland they're about 16 euros a pop, which isn't too bad. And then for the like vehicles and stuff, it kind of increases, and then the 3-packs are a little bit more pricey, but if you can get them, they are pretty cool. There's a cool Bane. I think it's Bane versus Batman, and I think there's someone else in there with him, or it's just a 2-pack, but there is a 3-pack with Batman, Mr. Freeze, and I'm not sure if it's Hal Jordan or John Stewart Green Lantern, but it's one of the Green Lanterns, which is another pretty cool sweet set. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. Please feel free to comment. Hit that like button. The more likes I get, the more traffic the video gets. So if you can, let's see if we can get the video to at least maybe 1,000 likes would be nice. I don't know. That'd be just me hoping for the best. But hopefully you enjoy this, and I do recommend grabbing these figures if you can get them. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.